Hey there guys, and welcome back once again to the channel. It's me, Chris Army, back with some Franchise Hockey Manager 2 as we attempt to take the rumbling Rockies Colorado Avalanche onto new heights, back to the very pinnacle, and win the third Stanley Cup in the franchise's history. So, last week you might have seen a little bit of a lull in video production, and the audio quality might not have been great. It might still not be great, and you might hear something in my voice. I have been sick over the past 2 weeks. I've been struggling through it, trying to get videos done. The last couple of days have been brutal, but a couple of days ago I did manage to record 3 videos to sort of carry me through the weekend, and I believe this video should go up on the Monday. So that should be good. That should be good anyway. So hopefully all that should be starting to get behind me now, and I'll be able just to focus on getting these videos out as much as I want to get these videos out. So back to the game, and where we left off was chasing down a couple of teams in the Western Conference. We weren't doing too badly, not too badly at all, if I do say so myself, exceeding expectations. And as you can see here, with this board conference, things have gone very, very well as well. So, Stan Kroenke thinks that this season is a great success so far. The team is outstanding shape. Performance in the last few weeks confirms this. 10-2-1. So I wanted to keep that message there just to show you that, I've been getting good feedback from the owner, and that's kind of my main driving goal here, is just to see if we can't, keep our job and keep progressing and get a little bit of development done in this save. So you might see that April 1st, 2016, we are at the end of the season. I did attempt to record a video at the trade deadline, but we had a power cut. I went and I tried to save as much of the footage as I could, and then show you with sort of still frames from the game when I was editing. But apparently that footage didn't work out. I tried uploading it to YouTube. I don't know what happened, but there was stuttering all the way through it, so I scrapped it. And we're just going to do an end of the regular season update. Now, the reason that it's an end of the regular season, you can see up in the top left-hand corner, we have 53 wins, 22 losses, and 7 overtime losses for 113 points. That is a fantastic total. That is a big, big total. And really, it's, I think, the third or second highest that the Avalanche have had. 2 years ago, I believe we had 114. I think it was just 1 point higher than we have this year. And that was a season that we really surprised people in. But it's not since 2011, maybe 2007 or 2001 when we actually won the Cup. I don't believe 96 when we won the Stanley Cup was a good season. I think we barely got into the playoffs there. So let's have a look at the standings. We'll start from the bottom up. You might have already seen where we are, but Winnipeg, Buffalo, Dallas, they're having a good season in real life, but really not there. Philadelphia, Arizona, Calgary, Ottawa, Edmonton, New Jersey. So you can see that Winnipeg right on the bottom, we did have their first round pick. And New Jersey, I believe we had, as well as Winnipeg second, and a couple other seconds we had throughout this time. We will go through transactions and look at that. Anaheim, Toronto, Carolina, Columbus, Florida, all pretty much missing the playoffs. Takes us up to Boston, LA, Vancouver, St. Louis, New York Islanders, the Canadiens, Tampa Bay, Pittsburgh, Detroit, San Jose, and you're starting to get into the 100 points now. You got Minnesota, Nashville, New York Rangers, the Washington Capitals, and we're up in second place with 113 points. Not quite President Trophy, but boys, we came close. The Avs are back, and they're kicking butt. Chicago, unfortunately, too strong. Way too strong. They just dominated. Absolutely dominated. Only a few teams came below 200. And, yeah, they tied with Tampa Bay, who led all the defensive categories for 90% of the season until right at the end, where they lost some of those. Like, that's how good the defense Chicago is. They match those, only one behind LA, who are fantastically defensively as well. As you can see, they scored a ton of goals. They didn't concede very many. Chicago are a force to be reckoned with. A lot of people will probably expect Chicago versus Washington as the final. So we look here in the conferences. You can see Boston and up hit the playoffs. LA and up hit the playoffs in the West. And in our division, you know, we've got 5 teams in the playoffs, 4 teams over 100 points. That is crazy, but that's just how it goes, guys. We had the most competitive division by far. By far. You know, there's 4 teams that go into the playoffs there. There's 4 teams there. There's 3 there. We got 5. That's not too bad. When you look at points total, 5th place, 95. That would have been 2nd in that league. It would have been 5th in the Metro as well, which is the other tough division. That's the tough on the East, we're the tough on the West. And it would have been enough for 4th there. But it's a lot of good teams in our division. And I really didn't think we were going to hit the playoffs, but we are. You can see we're matched up as the number 2 seed with number 3 seed Nashville Predators, who are having a fantastic season. St. Louis and Chicago, Minnesota, San Jose, LA, Vancouver. So that's an interesting sort of start to things there. Boston, Washington, Pittsburgh, New York should be a great series there. The Islanders facing the Red Wings and Montreal, Tampa Bay. That should be another barn buster over on that side. So, Washington and New York were the powerhouses on this conference. So, I'd expect both those to get through. Maybe Sid the Kid and Malkin can get through with Pittsburgh and cause a little bit of an upset over the Rangers. But whoever wins this match here between the winner of Boston, Washington and Pittsburgh, New York, I fully expect to be in the Stanley Cup final. Tampa Bay do have a very good team. They've got a shot, but really I'd expect Washington or New York Rangers or whoever manages to defeat them to get into the final. I would say win the whole thing, but Chicago was so impressive. They're my pick for the Stanley Cup finals and to win it outright. It sucks that we got to face those in round 2. If we can overcome Nashville, and we did okay versus Nashville, we did okay. I don't think there's too much down this bottom end again, except for Los Angeles. So, LA, Tampa Bay from the south aspect of the brackets. Up here in the northern half, though, it's the big powerhouses: Chicago, Colorado, Washington, New York. The big 4 this season. Nashville not too far behind us. Pittsburgh always a threat. So, seems a little bit more stacked. So I'll run to the finals likely to be beat Nashville, beat Chicago, probably beat LA, and then face off, I'd say, against the Capitals. Let's have a look at the stats then. You can see why I picked the Capitals. Goals, Ovechkin. Points, Ovechkin. Shots, Ovechkin. Power play goals, Ovechkin. Kid is on fire. Nicholas Backstrom with the assists, probably from giving the puck to Ovechkin. Bergeron's playing really well. He outdoes Ryan O'Reilly on face-offs. We've also got Matt Duchene down there. Duchene on goals hit 34. He's a little bit off the list here, but not by much, I don't believe. So what's that? 86 and 34. So that's 52. So he's only 2 below the list here in assists. We'll look at that as well. He's up there again. Duchene. He's our best player by far at this stage. So yeah, really not too much to sort of shout out about, but you can see LA, Pittsburgh, when it comes to goalies, they're playing well. Caps are in there as well. Nashville, we're going to have to get past the winningest goaltender in the league, Pekka Rinne. That's going to be an interesting one. But yeah, I think things are okay. Things are okay. We're not too far behind. When you look at goals, you got Matt Duchene there with 34. He actually tied with Landeskog. That is a great sort of end to the season for Gabby. We scroll down as well and see that Ryan O'Reilly is there with 27. Nate McKinnon picked up 26. You'll see Nate's now a right winger, O'Reilly's a centre. That was to give Nate McKinnon more ice time. I wanted to push him up on the first line to get him first line time, because O'Reilly is a penalty kill power play specialist. So I was trying to stack that first line with McKinnon out on the right, and I believe it kind of worked. I do believe it kind of worked. But there's a few goal scorers there. I won't go down too low. Matt Duchene there is the king of our assists. Tyson Barrie inside the top 25 as well. He's got 45 points this season. Only one man broke 100. It is Ovechkin. Backstrom did come close. 95 there. Pacioretty, Tavares, Taves, Malkin and Crosby. So you can see why I believe Pittsburgh do have a shot. Chicago, though, Patrick Kane is up there. Duncan Keith as well. With Matt Duchene, though, we got Landeskog on 43 assists. Ryan O'Reilly on 44. So there's a few more down as well. Oops. Sorry, those are assists. 77 points. O'Reilly 71. I think we've had a great season in terms of what we've been able to deliver. And you can see goals per game. We are 4th in the league with a 3.13 average. Goals against in the league, you can see we improved actually towards the end of the season up to a 9. A 9th place for 2.5 goals a game. That's not bad. One thing I didn't like through most of the season were our giveaways. We actually fell towards the end of the season down to 14th for the most giveaways, which is nice. We do need to keep an eye on that. Takeaways, 16th. Negative number there. Injury days did affect us. We went a lot of the season without too many injuries, and then we slowly sort of pushed up into 218 injury days. So we could have gone better. Attendances, where are we? Oh, we jumped up. Towards the end of the season, we started selling out at home. Look at that. So that's, for a long time, that was 81%. Now it's up to 87%. So it's nice to see that's actually come in. Let's go have a look at the team. And ta-da! More trades. A few more trades. Like I said, McKinnon over on the right-hand side for ice time. It still isn't sort of kicking in. He's unhappy about that. Zemgus is unhappy as well with his ice time. I've tried my best to solve that. Rantanen's ice time was solved, so he's now happy. Como was unhappy. He's now happy. Johnson was unhappy. I've managed to make him happy. So, and a couple of the new guys were a little unhappy. So that's kind of our team. You can see Duchene ended the season in phenomenal form. Let's go straight to the tactics, and you can see Rantanen up on the second line now to give him more ice time because he doesn't fit in on special teams at all. Bodka drops to the third. Como holds fourth. Duchene and O'Reilly down the centre. That's better face-offs than McKinnon, and O'Reilly's much better defensively than McKinnon, so playing as a centre I really like. Gergensons is a great defensive player. He's on third line, and I brought in Cliche as well for more defensive mindedness on that fourth line, just to keep us going. Duchene there, linking up with McKinnon and Landeskog. That is a great filthy first line. Hansel on that second line I think offers a lot. He ended the season quite well. He's an all-round kind of player. So between him and O'Reilly, I think that's enough defensively. Between O'Reilly and Rantanen, I think that's enough offensively. That's a nice balanced line. As we got Pace there, we got a nice balance on the second. Bodka can do everything. Gergensons is a bit of a defensive-minded player, and Sidlovsky is a bit of both, I'd say. If you look there, he actually ended the season with 10 goals, 14 assists. So 24 points in his first season in the league. That's not bad. That's really not bad. We've gone with Vey on the right-hand side with Clichy and Como. I want to change that entire line, I think, and maybe even Sidlovsky next season. So there are still changes we can make to make this team better, and draft picks might help. We got Pietrangelo with Trouba in the first line defensive, Orlov and Johnson on the second, and Gustis Behir and Barry on that third. Now, I found Nate McKinnon first line power play time on both those lines. He's second on the 4-on-4, and he's second on the penalty kill 4-on-5. So I'm hoping McKinnon gains the ice time he really wants. Gergensons, we've given penalty kill first line time too. And that's about all that I could find for him. Although I am thinking maybe about putting him on the 4-on-4, because Bodka is on every line. So why don't we do that? Why don't we do that? Let's put O'Reilly and McKinnon on the first. Duchesne and Gergensons on that second. So a 4-on-4 lines, perhaps that'll give Zemgus a little bit more when we get to 4-on-4. A little bit more of the minutes he's looking for. How did that all come about? Well, there were trades. So, where did we leave off on trades? I think it was here, wasn't it? Orlov, Hansel, yes. So we left off here. I didn't do too much else sort of early. I did go after Gustis Behir because Gustis Behir is a good defensive player. Or a good defenseman, I should say. He's a pretty good offensive player. I believe there's a lot more to come from him. He fits in with what we're trying to do. Someone young, someone exciting. So, we decided to get rid of Morrissey, Matson, Will Winchester, and a first-round pick. We did give up a first-round pick. We did gain a second back from Philly, which is a good pick. And we also got Ottawa's second round, which is another good pick. They're almost first rounds in return for Kickton, Moreau, and Corbett. We're just trading depth to get what we want there. I'm messing with the lines a lot over this period, thanks to injuries and a few new tactics I was trying out. And then a big trade here. Backup goaltender Binnington and first line defenseman Pietrangelo. 4th round picks as well. Trading away Zadorov. We need to give something to get something. A couple of 2nd round picks I believe were in there. Everberg was a decent prospect, and Bork is decent now. So that was a bit of something. I looked on the trade block and Pietrangelo was available. I couldn't say no. And then New Jersey Devils, they weren't playing well. They weren't anywhere near. So we got young right wing Blake Spears, who I'm a big fan of. I think he could turn into something on that right hand side for us. As well as our new starting goaltender, Corey Schneider. He's slightly better. He is slightly better than Varlamov. And yeah, New Jersey weren't making the playoffs. They didn't want to get rid of him. But with him and Spears, we give up Varlamov, Picard, because we picked up Binnington, which I liked a lot. And I traded another second, plus the 2 fourths we picked up the day before with St. Louis. We traded those in and got ourselves Schneider. That was one that didn't take long to get, really. I was quite surprised. And then we give up Matthias, Beaupre and Rendulic. I think that's my first really bad trade because Cliche is a 3-star player. Matthias is 3.5. Rendulic was 3.5 potential. So we're giving up a lot more than we kind of got there, but giving away offensive players for a defensive-minded centre for that fourth line, which I really, really wanted to do. So we did that, and then we grabbed Winnipeg's second-round pick on deadline day, which I targeted because they were near the bottom of the league, and they wanted a couple of players, so they really wanted a defense. So we traded away Nick Gwennin, Ben Street, Zach Redmond, 3 playable players right now. Mears is just something to get rid of, really. And Duncan Simmons is a good prospect, 3-star, 3.5 potential. I like him. I just think we got better options in that youth team and those farm teams. So we decided to give those up, get that second round pick, because we had given up a lot before that. So right now I think we're sitting with 2 firsts and a second. Oh no, sorry, 2 firsts and a second. And next year maybe just the first, and maybe just the first in 2018. I'm not sure how you check that here, because we're past the trade deadline, which is where I normally check that, to be honest with you. So yeah, I'm not sure on that. Our free agents this season would be Vey, Cliche, and Cheek, none of which I'm particularly fussed with keeping, and I should be able to get those kind of players on free agency at the end of the year, if not draft someone on that right hand side or center anyway. Yeah, there's not much in the Rampage. There's not much at the Comets. So hold on, let's have a look. Comets, yeah, there's nobody at the Comets. Rampage, we got Big Ras, who's unhappy, he wants to get called up. Gertson, who is decent. Clark is trade bait. Cheek is trade bait. That's all we've got. Like, I've literally gutted this entire organization of backup players, depth players, young players, and draft picks to get where we are now. Sacrificed everything to get where we are, which is the second best record in the league, with a great team, a couple of young players coming through the team, one player in the youth team that I'm excited about in the Rampage. We've got 3 or maybe 2 draftees. Yeah, we got 3 draftees. Butcher's okay. Heinen and Terrier, the 2 I really like down the center. So yeah, and we've got a couple more good draft picks this season, and I don't know if we've got Winnipeg's first. I don't know. Let's have a look. How can I do this? When I was messing about earlier, I believe if I activate commissioner mode, can I go to Winnipeg and check out who's got their draft picks? I can. We do have Winnipeg's first pick. Superb. Right. I'm not going to look too much else. I think we've got their second next year as well. I really don't know where to look for draft picks, however. Entry draft. Is there going to be something on here for draft picks? No. Milestones front office. Does that show you draft picks? It does not, no. So trading block, this is where I got most of my trade from. You can see as well, LA wanted to give up Dwight King. That could have been tempting, to be honest with you. That really could have been tempting. Nice defensive winger. And Montreal wanted to give up Barberio, who he's okay, but only for depth purposes would I pick up someone like him. So you can see there was a lot of different people on there. Tarasenko was on there, despite having a phenomenal, and I do mean phenomenal, season. See, at the moment, he's still out injured, though. He's been out for a while. Sid the kid's out for 4 months. I think he actually misses the playoffs. That might hurt Pittsburgh. Piqué Subban broke his hand. So luckily we avoided anything major on that front. But I think that's about it, guys. I think that's where we... Yeah, I was just going to look then. Try and see if I could see the draft picks in there. Draft picks in here? No, there's not draft picks in here. Draft picks in there? No, there's not. See, LA and Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay used to rule this category here, the goaltending and defensive. So they were number one. They've dropped to 2, 2, 3. But you can see Washington, scary. And we actually won the power play. That's something we did win. A lot of coaching changes as well along the way. So I think what we're going to do is get game 1 of the playoffs done. Why not? Actually, no, we're not going to get game 1 of the playoffs done. This is going to be in place of the last video as an update, but I'm going to put up another video about an hour after, or 2 hours after this one goes live, and that's going to include all the footage between now and the end of the first round. So if we get knocked out in 4 games, that's all that's going to be on there, is 4 games. So yeah, that's what we're going to do, guys. We're going to take a break here. So 53, 22, and 7. The Colorado Avalanche. I believe that oh, there we go. Colorado Avalanche history. So this is what I saw. So 1 point more. I was right from 2 years ago. And yeah, 2001 we hit 118 points. When we won the Stanley Cup in 96, it was 104. So really, this is the best season for quite some time. It's only our second playoff appearance in, what's that, 6 years? Bit hit and miss before that. Then we nailed every playoff since we were in Colorado. So yeah, let me know what you think of the trades, how you think, you know, things have gone in this first season. What should my objectives be for the entire sort of entire season? Now, are we looking for that Stanley Cup in season 1? Is that realistic? I believe we give up our first round pick. If Winnipeg holds on to their first overall pick that we traded for, you know, could we win the Stanley Cup and take the first overall pick in the draft? That's a bit it seems a bit wrong, but that might be something that ends up happening. And if we get that, who do we go after? Who do we go after in that draft? Is it Auston Matthews, or is it someone else like Patrick Lane? Let's have a look at the potentials here. No, that's scouting. Where's the draft stuff? So a quick look at the draft stuff so you can actually get an idea of who we might be going after. Now, everybody loves Auston Matthews. He is a big potential star in that center position. I like Jesse Puljujarvi. I think he is a good player as well. And Patrick Lane is a really good player out on that right-hand side. The Brinkat, if we do fall down outside the top 3, I think he could make a fantastic pickup as well. There's Tkachuk, Lundstrom, Hajek, Frederick, McLeod, Nylander, and Otto Koivulu as well. So yeah, there's a few names down there. So Chicherin is here as well. Do we go after a defenseman? who can really step up. I know a lot of people have a lot of buzz on Chicherin in real life. So we've got a few names and options there. Have your say as always. But in a few hours you should see this next video of the series go up, where we take on the Nashville Predators. And like you see, we're 4-1-0 against Nashville. And that gives me great confidence, especially since we've got a better team now. So have your say, how you think this is going to go, who we should go after in the draft, how realistic, unrealistic, how good of a job, bad of a job I'm doing, how, you know, the trades went, all that kind of stuff. Have your say, let me know absolutely anything, guys. And I'll see you in a couple of hours with Game 1 of the Stanley Cup playoffs. Nashville Predators at the Colorado Avalanche. Until then, I've been Chris Orme. Stay tuned for more Franchise Hockey Manager 2, and I'll see you just in a minute.